the culture right now is like, you remember when we would go to school and you have your teacher. She had set the tone to what's going to be. But then when she's not in school and you got a substitute, the kids kind of start acting out. Even the kids who normally be good.
Right.
That's what's happening. Everybody's acting out.
The problem is that masculinity itself, right, is under attack.
Right.
A lot of people don't have fathers, bro.
Right.
They don't have fathers in our communities. You know what I'm saying? A father is not a necessity in our community for you to be right. You got to have a mama.
Right.
Like, men who usually wouldn't speak on things have to start stepping up and speaking on things.
You are now listening to the thoughts and sounds of IC the God King. This is the IC Experience.
Is it can be resolved, and now we can work together as a team.
Right.
If we're together or not, if that's not gonna help it out, at least we need to find an understanding.
Right.
You know, because it really is all of this shit. People are hurt.
Right.
The women are hurt because they have some kind of idea how it's gonna be, and the man is hurt too.
Mm-hmm.
And in our community, it's not cool to be like, damn, dog, she broke my heart. Or, you know, I'm messed up because of my childhood. Mm-hmm. We had to like tough it up.
Yeah.
But if you keep pushing that stuff down, man, it's gonna be like a cancer.
Right.
And then now we're gonna be working out of our emotions. And that's where men can't. We don't have the luxury to to be talking
to be
our emotions.
Walking around here crying at the red light and shit.
Right.
Just crying at the red light.
Not crying, because most of the time when men deal with emotion, the number one thing we go to is anger.
Right.
You know, I've seen
food.
I've seen men,
sex, drugs, alcohol.
Right. I done seen men fight people and be crying while they're fighting. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Yeah, that's called crazy.
No, dog, it's not called crazy. It's called them niggas so hurt and they don't have no way to let that shit out. You know, when they be like, I got that monkey on my back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That shit real. Yeah. It's the weight size of a 2-ton gorilla on your back.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no outlet for men. So that's why it ain't no fight in the men, in us. Mm-hmm. Unless you get charged up. Because if the person you're supposed to be getting charged up with the mother of your children, or your girlfriend, let's say you're no longer with the mother of your children, now you're with another one. But that's another battle that you got to figure out the lay of the land in that battle. Mm-hmm. So if you're constantly battling, when do you get peace of mind to say, hold on, what's the bigger picture? My children. How do we go about coming up with a strategy that's going to make the children the benefactor of all this mental thinking, all of this going on?
You talking about as it pertains to you and her?
Yes. Yeah, because at the end, it's too much focus on self and not about the people that's coming behind us. And that's what our predecessors, our ancestors, they were good at. I remember hearing my grandparents say, like, we did this so y'all can go to school. We stood in these lines so y'all can go vote. Mm-hmm. So they had to fight in them. And there was a team. It was a team effort of fighting.
Right. It was more unity back then. You could click up and make anything happen.
Right.
They were marching and, you know, getting
they were more on the same page.
Yeah. It was a real movement.
So like, I think this might be one of the hardest times for men to be fighting because we're so divided. And it's so much the distractions. There's so many things to be like, man, you don't got to worry about your kid. You'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because we got so many distractions. We got clubs. We got going live events. The women shaking their asses. You could be scrolling for days seeing that shit. It never stops. You know, our grandparents didn't have all these distractions. We got 10 times, if not 100 times more distractions.
Yeah, most definitely. And a lot of it is, most of it is this right here. You know what I mean?
You my opposer.
Right.
According to the phone, by the way. Pause.
Right. So yeah, so my take on that was, I said, I appreciate that perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because that's you in a totally different direction with that than I was. You know what I'm
Where were you
saying?
gonna take it?
Yeah. So my take is, if I'm speaking to the mothers of America, right? The mothers of our future generations, right? It's like, what I'm saying is that a man should not have to fight to be a father. He shouldn't have to fight you to be a father. Like you said, if it's yeah, you need to get there, you need to take care of yourself. You definitely want to be present, you know what I'm saying, as much as possible, you know. But it's like nobody's perfect,
Right.
you know, and one thing about parenting is that uh you can call anybody a bad parent.
Right.
You know, you could see something somebody doing and be like, oh, they did that, they do that. You know, okay, you seeing one thing, one situation, and then you trying to apply this to, you don't know everything what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that's in general that can be a very it can be based on perspective. It's
Right.
very fluid,
Right.
based on, like, what's good, what's not. Who knows? You get some kids that are born and raised by wolves in the jungle, and they made it work. It all worked out, and then you got some people who grew up in perfect situations, and it was like, or what looked like perfect situations, and it didn't work out.
Right. Right.
So that's just my take on it, man. It's like, I would like, for men and women, just to understand that your child having the other parent in their life, right, benefits them.
Mm-hmm.
It benefits them. And if you're not feeding that, if you're not supporting that, however which way you can, because ain't no situation perfect. I could sit back and say, oh, my baby mama need to do this and that and that and that. And then you go over there and she's saying, oh,
I know
ain't
he
this and
fucking
that.
lying.
Right. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, it's like we need to be on the same page for the greater good, just to make the best out of what we got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to take hits. We're going to get bumps in the road. But let's not ride the rest of the trip complaining about we hit a damn bump in the road.
But that's why I
Kick you
was
out the
saying
fucking
it was the
car.
underlying issue, dog. Because really, when people be mad at you and hate you like that, it's really because they still love you,
Mm-hmm.
and they're mad at the fact that they still love you. That's what all this shit is. It's that's why the song says a thin line between love and hate, and an immature person will not admit that's what it is.
Yeah, it's like we talk toxic love. I feel like our whole perception in America of relationships and all of that, like, they promote this, right? But then everybody, once you start getting into it from elementary school or middle school, whenever you start having boyfriends and girlfriends, you learn that, oh, it's not just this.
All right.
This person is going to break your heart.
Right.
Because you have built up an idea of them in your mind that is just not realistic. It's like you watching Superman movies, and then you expecting, a white man that you see come out of a phone booth to take off,
Right.
take off and start flying. Like, no, man, that ain't real life, bro.
It's not, and that's why I think the takeaway is take a deep breath.
Inhale.
And remember, how can I lead with love in this situation? There's plenty of times I done talk with you and I'd be like, man, I'm about to throw my hands up, I'm done. Some days you're gonna want to vent and feel like that.
Right.
Then the next day you'll be feeling like, damn, the way my mind working now, I was in my feelings, I was upset. I don't even mean that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like trying to it's like trying to capture a hurricane and keep it in a jar. It's like
right.
everything is moving.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
it's too much and it's overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that we can make some sense of it, is we got to come together. Like you basically saying, the women and the men need to come together. We need to find a ground that's like, hey, look, and a lot of times the women put a lot of focus on finances. And it's like, dog, you see, they got all this data showing that black men can't get the same opportunities as our counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Shamika baby daddy figured it out. You need to do something. Those little moments like that will, them little moments like that will.
Hello, who Bubba baby daddy?
Shamika damn baby daddy figured that. Shamika Johnson.
Oh man.
Over there, Willie Mays.
But not Willie Mays. We had nobody named. We might have had a Shamika over there or something.
It sounds like it fits.
She probably some crossroads.
Right. Cheers. But it's time for this shit to stop, man. Because we're going on the path to destruction, and more men like us need to be in the forefront and not the young thugs and the athletes and entertainers. We need real men to be in the front of the class.
Yeah. More of us got to start stepping up, man, and saying what's right. Not just stepping up and talking, but just saying what's right, man.
Right.
Because if we don't add some kind of narration to this experience and this culture, then we're not gonna have. It's gonna run rampant. It's gonna run us right out the room, man.
Right.